Hello everyone. Sorry about being a few minutes late. I'm just trying to find a video now. 1 minute, you'll see my head for a few moments. There's nothing much I can do about that. You'll just have to look at my hair. I have brushed it this afternoon after I had my shower, so there are positives to this moment. I've done lives before where you've seen my hair unbrushed. What? That's not nice. Oh. Maybe we should type a whole statement into the messenger group chat. We could be really poetic here. No, we're not going to. I know the Canadian seems still odd saying 2023. I only just got used to 2022. I'm 22 years old. Odd. Don't feel it. Right, anyway. I did feel 20 when I turned 20, but I didn't feel 21 when I turned 21, and I don't feel 22 currently. So, if you try and wrap your head around that, I've just, lost my nut. I've lost my brain. All mental capacity. Oh, hello, Di. So, hi, everyone. Sorry for spilling those beans to you. Anyway, this is what we did last week. If any of you missed it, it is available on my YouTube channel. I have not done a banner for it yet. I'm truly sorry about that. I'm a bit behind. And that was the first week of 2023. And now we're on to our second week. Oh, hello, Tash and Diane B and Sandra and Pam. Okay. And so this is our third page out of our rainbow journal, the red book one. And yes, we are using the red book even though it's a notepad, just because like I said, I don't write things down, so not unless they're work related. And my art's not really work related. Well, it kind of is, but at the same time, I'm not going to write a blurb about my art. No. I did 3 years of writing reflections pretty much for every piece of art that I made. I'm not going to be writing reflection for a very long time. A very, very long time. So tonight, as you can see, I kind of had this up at the top. I should have done a little and tonight we are using a sneak peek of a day to remember rice paper, which is now live early. Hello, Karen L. So yeah, Mum has made, just a quick spiel though, if your Facebook does drop out at any point, try hopping over to YouTube, as it does use less data, just a heads up ladies. Or if your YouTube drops out, just try hopping over to Facebook. Normally it's the other way around, but you never know. I have one of my laptop absolutely dislikes YouTube. Dislikes Facebook but loves YouTube, but my iPad loves Facebook but dislikes YouTube, so it's a bit odd. So I guess it depends what your device likes. I didn't think it was possible for a device to dislike something until I literally got my laptop. Anyway, so yes, like I said, we're using 2 new rice papers tonight. So the Day to Remember Sneaky Peek one. And they're both online. I am going to chuck links up in a second. I am scribeless tonight, so you'll just have to bear with me on the links. Right? Yeah, I'll be fine. Can you check the fan on though? I was really optimistic that I wouldn't. Would you like me to put the air conditioner on so you don't have the whooping? Yes, please. Well, we are using tissue paper and rice paper tonight, so fan. Bad move. Anyway, and then we're using the Peace and Joy Windows rice paper, which should be really fun. I'm going to show you how you can tear these out instead of having to fussy cut, because I don't do fussy cutting. You do, but it's not like my fussy cutting. Yeah, it's not like Mum's. It's not neat at all. It's very much like... I'm not obsessed like Mummy. It's a basic shape. No detail. Yeah, and then we've got our little baby butterflies, which I don't know if you can see those because they're a bit blinding when they go up that close. I'm keeping them in the plastic packet so that I don't lose them because they are mini. And the January word, I am going through this now because normally I forget to say things when I teach because I get wrapped up in the art and we spend 20 minutes in silence, which is okay, I guess, but yeah, trying not to do that tonight. Well, hello, Debbie. Right, let me get you those links. I'm just going to put like the what's new tab up because then you also get to see what we've got left of the new Minte, which isn't that much, to tell you the truth. It's very bare minimal. But yeah, and we also, I think, have some new photo collages as well. Don't hold me to that though. Like, I've been cutting like a mad woman for the last few days, so I haven't checked the website. Also, if you do scroll down, I think a few rows on it, you'll also come to the butterflies as well. Not the January word. We've had those for ages, so you'll just have to do a bit of a squint. But I chose to use the January word tonight. Let me just move this cog out of the way. I chose to use the January word tonight just because it's a piece of chipboard, so it's going to give us some height, which means we can curl our butterflies up and everything else like that. But first I want to use them to make kind of a pattern across our beautiful piece of rice paper, and we're going to use this piece of paper here to actually do our prime layer, because we have to prime every page in this notepad because the paper is way too thin. Like, yeah, I'm talking like if you want to do a piece of mixed media on Kaisercraft paper thin, even thinner than that actually. So prime on every page, but tonight we're going to use the rice paper to do it with. So we're going to get our gesso ready. Let's open it. There we go. You know, we had a couple of breezy weeks with my gesso when I actually did the cling wrap technique that you guys suggested. I just didn't keep it up for some reason. I don't know why. I should have. Hello Mary. Hello Diane. I think I might be doing that after class actually, because like it's getting a bit ridiculous some days. Like that, look at that. That's what was clogging up my thing. A year ago I would have had to ask one of my brothers to open that for me. Which is like the worst thing that could ever happen to me, if any of you know me. Oh, hello. Okay, so let's get started. So I kind of want like a bit of a rough idea. I think it's going to fit best this way. So yeah, we want half and half. And what we're going to come and do is we're just going to remove our book for a quick second. And come in, and we do want these to be a little bit more focused. We don't want it to be like random with our finger. We want it to be a bit more intentional. So we're going to come along with our paintbrush. I normally do this with my finger just because it's easy for people who like coordination like myself. But we want it to be kind of Evie Stevies. And then we're coming in. Pretty good here. It did. I did print this beautiful. The printer that we actually have to print our rice papers is the most bipolar machine you'll ever come across. One day, it will feel like working, and it will print, no joke, like 40 of these in a row. And then we'll stop it because we're like, oh my gosh, it'll overheat. It's going to, like, you know, eat something or melt the paper or something like that. And then the next day, if we print more than one every 2 hours, it don't work. Like, not one little bit. And it's the most annoying thing possible. Oh, hello, Deborah. Hello, Marie. I'm just checking. Is everyone's video okay this week? Like, is everyone's video... Because last week we spent the first half of class last week all struggling to see. So I just want to double check. Is everyone's video, like, non-blurrified? So I come in and wet my edges to make them look antique. To rip them. Excellent. Perfect. We've worked this out. Beautiful. I was just double checking. Woo! Just let me know if it does change. Right, here we go. Right. Oh, wrong end. Oops-a-daisy. Make sure we use the paintbrush end and like the brush end and not the stick end of the paintbrush. Right. Pretty alright. She could be better, but like it is what it is. She's slowly getting better. I think she feels like she isn't getting better, my mom, currently, because she's had vertigo for so long, but I don't think she remembers what it was like for the first couple of weeks of her having it. Like, she couldn't even walk down the hallway, which is less than 2 meters. So, yeah, I think it's just taking some time. Hopefully she doesn't continue to burn the candle at both ends after this lovely display of what happens when you do. But I'll make no promises on that end. No promises, because I know my mum. It's unlikely. Unlikely. Right, I'm just trying to find my palette knife because I've had it go missing in the last week, and it is my own fault because I've shoved it somewhere. Interesting. Okay, rightio. Don't mind me. So we're going to come in and we're going to use a gesso. I had to start watching on my iPhone as I... That is odd. Right. Okay, I'm going to look into that. Sandra, yes, Mum has done a featured post. It's just like a little bit of information to basically help us out. As you guys know, well, most of you guys would know that social media is a very important aspect of small business today, and we just want to make sure that all you guys are getting the posts that you want, or you're in the right groups that you want to be in, because we have a lot of groups now. Like, I think I'm an admin in over 20 of them. I do not want to be an admin in over 20 of them. I do tell my mom this. Do not make me an admin, because it gives me responsibilities then when I'm an admin. And over 20 of them. So yeah, just making sure that you're getting the emails that you want, because I think we have different email lists now, and yeah. I do rock up to the same staff meetings, but I end up with only half the information. I don't know. I probably need to pay more attention. But yeah, I'll have a look into that one for you, Sandra. I don't know what that meant, but yeah. Right, so there we go. So this is our first page. And as you can see, what I did was I went along and I did these movements here. A bit dangerous while I have white paint on my finger. But anyway, slash gesso. We are using gesso because it's a bit thicker. Gives it a bit more body, and the prime will work a lot better. So by doing that, we release all the air bubbles. So this is like a really good prime now, because it has 2 layers technically. It has a layer of paint and then a layer of collage. So it's nice and thick, this paper now. So we can come in and do basically any technique we want without ever worrying about the page running itself, which is a nice thought. So yes, and it's a very pretty background. Like, look at that. We could call this art here. Like, let's stuck a title there and we're done. What's the January word? Where is that January? We will be done within a moment. No. Probably shouldn't do that. I have a feeling I might get in trouble. I don't get in trouble often, but, you know. I might tonight. I will probably, because I'm going to get white pen on my bed, more likely. Anyway. Now, I've got this one here down, but because we've got this a bit thicker, what I want to come do is I want to actually keep that one up. Get that stick down, so make sure I get all the air bubbles out. That's it. So, nice and rubbing. Ooh! And then what we're going to come and do is it's beautiful paper. It's actually a copy of one of the patterns from the New Day to Remember paper. So it's a bit like a sneak peek for you guys of what the paper is going to look like for retreat. It's exact coloring, everything. So a bit of a sneak peek. We got the proofs yesterday from the printers. It looks gorgeous. We were worried about a few of the pattern. Well, we meaning Mum and I. Dad wasn't particularly worried. Neither were the customers that looked at it because they thought it was amazing. It was just Mum and I being pedantic about a few dots. But, like, you know, I don't know. So, like, you've got some more textures in this one coming up and some really nice greens. Like, you know how it's hard to get a good, nice green? A deep olive, I think you would call it. We're going for that type of tones. So it's really, it looks beautiful. However, if you do still want to come to the retreat, the bookings do close tomorrow. So make sure you book. Because, yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile range of getting. So I'm just coming in and I'm sticking some modeling paste underneath this corner here. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give my corner some body and really add to that rustic bit of a look we're going for tonight. And we're going to continue that through our color palette, I think. I think we might use some nice olive glitter maybe, because there's a nice greeny glitter that Walmart released recently. And maybe some black tissue paper that Dad was using as, I think, wrapping paper for the On Safari retreat. You know, because you guys get lots of wrapping paper. And then, like, our Peace and Joy windows, which matches perfectly with this Day to Remember range. Like, absolutely perfectly. And our thing. Now, just a bit of duty of care moment. Oh, excellent, Pam. So excited. Duty of care. So as you probably noticed, my modeling paste is less like a paste now and more like a glob. It's very thick and nearly unusable. This is because I left the seal open. It wasn't fully shut for about 24 hours. So, and it's become hardened, which means that, and the only reason why it still works was I went in with literally the end of a bread and butter knife that was metal and stirred the liver and poo out of it to get it back to a wet mixture. So, and I think the other thing that helped was humidity. I don't know how, but I know that humidity had a bit of a play in it. So, I can't explain it scientifically. I just know how humidity works because I've lived with it all my life. Like most of you ladies have, like, Australia's known for humidity. So, yeah, just a word of warning with your big ones. You've got to definitely make sure that first that you keep this bit and you stick it on there so that it actually sits in. And then make sure you spin this one correctly so then it's completely straight at the base. Because sometimes, even then you saw it done, I was going on an angle, and that's when it gets left open a little bit and how it hardens slowly on you, and it becomes quite unusable in that case and scenario. Right, so now that we've got this going for us, I think what I might want to do is I want to add, yes, these ones. So what I'm going to come and do is I want to add some butterflies, but not like stick them down. I want to make them into a bit of like a stencil. So this is what you get in the full mini pack. You get 12 butterflies. It's a lot. Just a heads up. Get 12 butterflies to use, and they're like the perfect size. So we might come in, for example, and put this one here, but we're not going to do them in white. I'm actually going to use them as a stencil. I just got to find my straight end paintbrush. I'm going to use my mini one. So about this size, it's roughly about my pinky fingertip. There you go, pinky. And we're going to use our watercolor. You could use paint for this one. We might switch over to paint. I'm just a bit wary because this color is a hard color to match in pinks relatively. I do want it to be pink this layer, so or we could go with this nice terracotta. What do you think? We got this. Oh, not a good show, was it? Well, a minute. Please hold. So we've got that color there, which is a nice deep brown. Or we've got it's all good. I use my hand as a notepad all the time. The shop ladies can attest to this. Or we've got the pink. So we've got pink or terracotta. What do you reckon? What do you think is going to go? I actually think the terracotta might look better. Like, I know we've got pink in there, but we can come in and do like little pink dots at the end, I think. With a bit more of a pastel-y look with pastel pen. And use the terracotta as a bit of like a feature background color that adds that difference, and then add in our green and everything around our window. Like, how does everyone think about that? Does that sound all right? Got a consensus? I got in love hearts, so we're going with the terracotta. I know it's unlike me to go with brown. Or we could go with a deeper brown. We could go with, hold up. This brown might suit it a bit better. Could go with that brown. Actually, I'm more thinking that one, just because it matches the green a bit more in the background. Thinking right. So yeah, we're gonna come in. And then we don't want to use too much water with this, or else it will bleed into our butterfly design. What we want to do is nearly have watercolor dry brush, which is basically when you just wet the pigment enough for it to move, but not too much for it to be overly moving. And then there you go. So we've got one by butterfly, as you can see, and then we're going to come and do another one, and we will blend this out in a minute, I promise. So we're just going to stick our painted butterflies over to the side so they don't contaminate our white ones. Because we don't want... I do want to keep some of them white, just as like little bits of highlights as we stick down some of our other tissue paper and other bits and pieces of collage. It's quite nice to have that break between colour. So... what do we think? Maybe one more? just coming in. Now, most of my modeling paste here is already dry, which means it's actually not mixing in with the watercolor. And I'll just show you what I mean. So see how it's barely mixed in with that watercolor that was on the paintbrush? It's got like only a little bit of white. And that's because my modeling paste is pretty much nearly dry, thanks to the summer that we're currently having. Although it has been overcast here for quite a few days. I think it's because of the cyclone up north or something. I don't know. It's far away from us. So. And then I'm just going to lift this up to show you how I'm going to bleed this one. So I'm just going to come in, put some watercolor down. Oops, sorry, my lights just did a bit of a flicker then. So I am going to go and make this one just a little bit stronger. So see? So it looks very nice, I think. I think that just 3 looks perfect. Right, so there we go. We don't want to do too many of them because our page is very small. Even though we're doing a double, it's literally only A4. So we're used to doing double the size of this. So we're going to stick... We are having a heat wave in Nova Victoria currently. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. We definitely ain't having a heat wave here, though. Yeah, so it's a nice and simple technique that looks really good. So you can see it just brings out that tone a lot more. So now we're going to come in and we're going to get our windows prepped. And we're going to use our clean water, not our coloured. Clean. Well, we have 2, I don't know, 2 tubs. Right. Gotta make sure I wasn't telling anyone to F off. Right. What window do we want? I would normally go for probably one of these windows, but I reckon either this one or this one, just because, like... Or we could go with that big one there. And a small baby one in the background over there, maybe? Could do 2 small baby ones, and... could do those 2 with those 2. No, definitely would have to be those 2 with probably that one over here. Or we could use... Actually, we might use that one. We won't use... this one, he would look really nice on a card. That's all I'm thinking. So let's go with the small ones first. So what we're going to come and do is we're using our skinny brush. Which, by the way, I'm sorry, none of my brushes match. They do actually come from Mott set. It's like the one that you get in the case. However, mine is a bit of like a mix and match one because Amelia's, Nola's, and mine all got mixed up, and we came from different branding times. When I got my first Mott set, which is the ones I still have now, they were light blue branded. When Noah got his, they were orange. And when Amelia got hers, I think hers were grey. I think. Yeah, so. Right, there we go. So we use water to wet that first before cutting it out, just so then the rice paper wasn't so hard to use and it was easy to poke a hole without causing mass destruction. And then we're going to come in and we're going to do... Did I cut out the wrong window? Oh, mate. I did. Well, we'll create balance later. I might actually use my big one for this. Go, and then we need one more, which is going to be this one here. No, this one was the one we agreed on. Right. Because this is not in the middle of anything, we can just do that. Right, I'm going to move our piece over to the side. What we're going to come do, so we're going to wet our windows. We're going to have to work relatively fast on this one. Being careful not to actually rip the window itself. But just to make sure that we get the hole, see? And make the bits we need to. Shivers. Rice paper tearing. Can either go really well, really badly. Oh well, we'll add to the antiqueness of it. Right, 1 minute. The vintage part. Okay, we're going to leave that one to dry. See how it got over wet and then I accidentally ripped the outside while I was going around? I actually do like it like that, but if you wanted to keep your frame whole, probably not the ideal state you would wish it to be in. So we're just going to come and neaten this one up. This did actually work when I tried it out off class, like at work today. When I was showing a customer, I was like, yes! And then, yeah. Just proves that no matter how many times you try something, it can still throw a curveball at you, which is okay. Right, there we go. So we've got one window there. And then we've got another window, which I actually think I could put that one coming out. So, and then this one here sitting there. And then I've got some Pandora tissue paper from my mum and dad's belated birthday present. Which was an updated Pandora bracelet. I had one as a kid and they collect beads and all the rest of it. It was one of those bead collecting ones. So they updated it so that it could fit my adult wrist. And now I have to wear it every day. It was a condition that my mum put in without me knowing when I got the bracelet. I'm not wearing it currently because I feel like if I get paint on it, I might actually be murdered. Like I have the slight feeling that, you know, a slight feeling that my mum would, yeah, consider it. Probably wouldn't do it, but would be very mad at me. And I'd probably be really mad at myself, actually, because my mum spent a lot of time and energy organizing that, so I don't really want to ruin it. I may not like wearing jewelry, but I will wear jewelry for my mum when she requests it. Because at least it ain't makeup. Right, and then we're going to come in with our gauze, which we've been slowly dyeing and colouring over the last, I suppose it's the same word, isn't it? Dyeing, colouring means the same thing over the last few months. So we've officially got like this raggedy little piece here that I'm ripping a piece off of. And it's got like green and probably every colour of watercolour you can think of under the sun. What we want is we just want that one to sit. So we're building like a little piece of little clusters around our vocal points, whatever you want to call them. And our page. we're just going to put our stenciled butterflies on top of the frame, so then they're out of the way, and then come in with our non-stencilies. We're going to add green to this after we get everything looking really nice. Oh, moved that one by accident. I do like this, but I'm just going to set it to one side, just like to give my eyes a bit of a break from it, so I can decide whether or not I fully like it while I color my January word. So with chipboard, you just got to be really careful because it does leave like little black bits and pieces on you sometimes. I think we brushed most. No, there it is. So what we're going to come and do is we're just going to paint some gesso over the top of it, and then we're going to color it. Now I'm not going to dunk my paintbrush straight into the gesso tub. Instead, I'm going to do it on the lid, because if I get the lid contaminated, I can clean it. Even better is to actually remove some of the gesso and put it on your color, on your paint palette. But my paint palette's currently in the freezer because I've been doing some more work on that succulent painting I've been painting for like years, and it's nowhere close. It is nowhere near close. But, you know, I can only dream of when it's done. When it's done, I will be like 40. Okay, well, we'll wait for that one to dry naturally, because I do want to mostly dry naturally. I'll show you. See? This was the other bit that I did. So I did this one a month ago, and then I did some more work over here. And this was the original one. So, like, as you can see, a long way left to go, but it looks pretty cool. So, you know, that's where my paint palette is in the freezer, preserving the palette that I've chosen. Because, yeah, it takes a lot of green. Right, so then we're going to come in, and we're actually going to grab a piece of plastic. So we're going to use, I think, this bag here.
I'm trying to places because I'm hanging out with the Grinch.
What's the problem with Bobbin?
Oh, it's horrible. How's it going?
Pretty good. It's nearly her bedtime. She's only got 14 minutes left. Is she following her bedtime tonight? Alright. And then we're going to use some of our desert. Not dessert. Doesn't have two S's. Desert. Right. Oh, thank you, Marie. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a bit of this. I'm going to rub it in. It's going to make this nice little color, and then come and snap it down. So where the blobs of paint haven't mixed in with the paint pen color, we've got bits of green blob, like darker green, and some of that desert color. So I've just got to go and make sure that it's, yeah. See how we've got no water covering any of the gaps now? Just going to make sure that happens, or else it doesn't dry properly. Now we're going to set this to one side, which is on top of the frame currently, just because then we won't knock it. And we're going to set this on Dad's desk, because we're going to come back and use this after we stuck down our collage. And I'll show you how once we've done that. So I'm just going to move it very carefully behind me, because we're not going to waste it. No waste here. Right, let's see. Now we have to stick this down. And I still haven't bought gel medium from the shop. Mum, do you have a tube of gel medium? Do you have a tube of gel medium?
Kind of hidden from pilferers that snitch my stuff.
Never. I dislike that name. I am a revival. Like, you know. No. I'll come up with a different word. I'm not an art thief, thank you. Art thieves are not. Great. I will have to watch and replay. I have to go. Oh, thank you, Diane B. Have a great night. And a good day tomorrow. Woo! Tomorrow is Friday. It's my first week back at work. It's not too bad. I have to admit that it's pretty good, actually. Busy, like always, but pretty good. Tomorrow will be the last day of this week for them, and then the weekend. So it'll be fun. I think this weekend, well, actually tomorrow afternoon, I know we're finishing off the kits, which means you guys will be getting your kit invoices either tomorrow or Saturday, and then they'll be sent out on Monday. And then I know that Mum and I are going to be doing a fair bit of design work this weekend, as we've got a few events coming up. I don't know if she's discussed them with you guys yet, so I better not speak, because last time I did let things, you know, I do tend to be the one that leaks the information. I will fully admit to that. I get really excited about 3 weeks out from events, and I'm like, oh, let me show you something that we've done. And then, you know, like, I just get excited, and yeah. It's not always the best thing to do, apparently, but like, my mom and dad is like, that's marketers say not to do that. I'm like, it's a reason why it's a book. It's optional. It's not the law. So, you know. But yeah, probably shouldn't spill the beans this time. I'm going to great lengths not to. Although the Day to Remember paper is kind of spilling the beans, but, you know, like, it's what it is. It's like over a month away. I could be telling you what's going to release next week. But I'm not. Right, here we go. So we're going to fold this piece of Pandora tissue paper over on itself. So then it matches our corner up here. So then the corner doesn't feel so lonely. I'm going to come in and we're doing this layer by layer with our sandwich. And the reason why we're using gel medium matte is because it's nice and transparent, which means that it's not going to block out the collage from underneath it that we've already done, like what the paint would do. Because it does take away some of that layered effect white paint, which we have been missing out of the last few classes because I keep forgetting to buy gel medium. I get home from my pool swim every Thursday, and I'm like, did I buy it? Nope. I also do it on Sundays, but when I paint for myself in the afternoons, but I tend to go a bit more experimental in those ones. There's a reason why those paintings are not really shared, and that's because most of them end in disaster. Most. They're experimental. Right, so we're coming in and we're putting down our window, well, our bottom one. Actually, I do think I want to put wash underneath that one. So I'm just going to lift that one back up before it dries. Grab my white paint real quick. But that's okay, Sandy. Thank you for arriving. Hello, how are you? Must be a busy day. I know I just included like 3 questions in one go. Which is probably really bad. Anyway, right. And then what we're going to come and do, and I just did the white gesso behind that one so then it stands out a bit more. And it doesn't get lost being the same color as our butterfly there. I'm going to come in and stick this one down. So I did just rip this butterfly in half because I'm going to put half of it up on this corner, coming out there, and then half of it down here where this one here hasn't stuck properly yet. Go. And then this one here, down and sitting in, oh, maybe not right there, maybe there, yeah. There, right. Down and sitting in that place. Right, so we're going to put the lid on that and put that back on Mum's desk. I'm going to lift this up to show you what we've done. Screw the top back onto that one. We might be a little bit over time. Oh, you're going to Bundy in the weekend. Wow, that sounds amazing, Sandy. Going for a holiday. Right, so that's what we've done so far. And thank you, Marie. So now what we're going to come and do is add our green in. So we're going to come back with our smushing mixture that we made. And we're going to come in and just... I can't do it controlled, but at the same time, I know it's not going to be, so meh. Right, so we're going to try and do this corner and this side. I feel like we need to say Hail Mary, but anyway, here we go. Not too bad. Could have been worse, I have to say. And then this side. Oh, looks pretty good. And then a bit down here where it's mostly white. More. There we go. Quick way of adding some green to it. I do think it looks quite nice. And like as you can see, we've used our rice papers as the prime and as the collage layer. So it's all about how to use your rice papers in multiple formats, even as like fussy cuts, as you can see with our windows. So now we're going to come in, and I think with our forest paint, I'm going to put a little bit down on our map here. Just going to turn the book over so then it comes out of our corner here. Okay. And while I wait for that bit there to dry, what I'm going to come and do is I'm just going to add a few of those green bits over, like, completely on the diagonal across down the bottom here. So that's just the cat complaining that it wants food. I'll have to feed it in a second after class. Not drawing it. That might be a bit long. And I have not got elevator music yet. I wonder what classifies as elevator music these days. Is it still the same as what it was back then, or is it like gone up a notch? Oh, thank you, Pam. So yeah, we've got 3 dots, and I think it looks like 3 layers of that, the 3 places that that's in. And then what we're going to come and do with our paint, I'm just going to try and make it a bit like a drip without bleeding too much, which is a bit difficult considering it's from rice paper, but that's okay. The idea is trying to force the drip, not actually rely on the water for this one. So you have to force it just a little bit. And we're going to come back and remove some of that paint with our finger. There we go. And then so you can see it coming across. Hopefully this bit here is dry. So it's just about adding some definition to our page, but not over greening it. And then and we're just coming in. There we go. And then what we might do, so it's all just about bouncing out, making our highlights. Now we can see the difference between our 2 windows there. What I want to do, so I'm actually just going to come in and do, wow, that's a lot of glitter. I will be putting that on my palette in the freezer after class. Gosh, feel like a bloody explosion. Actually, or not, we can go with this. Let me just grab a stencil. Never tried it before, but we're going to try it tonight. We're going to stencil glitter paint. God knows if it's going to work. Let's hope so. That's a lot of glitter paint. I did not mean to tip that much out. Oh my gosh. It's okay. The extras we will put onto the palette in the freezer. I don't know if it will work though, because it's not like acrylic. I might be glittering some paper after class tonight. It works! We've got glitter dots. I don't know if you can see those at all, but they're there. Just like trying to convince someone that fairies are real, I guess. I don't know if they are or not. I'm really sorry, but I'm skeptical. I don't think they are. They might be though. You gotta stay on the fence, you know, just in case. Don't want to disagree on the entire nation. And then go. So we've got some glitter on there now. So you can. I'm like trying to show where this glitter is, and I think I'm failing. But there. Oh no, there you go. You can see the glitter spots. There we are. So yes, and that's what we want to do. We want to use this wet paint here. To stick down our sitting butterfly there. And then we're going to come in with that one with our desert paint and just do a few tiny dots. Anyway, and then we might do I'm trying not to do too many of these because sometimes I overload the page with just paint dots. And then what we might do after that. So I'm just going to show you what that is. So we had desert dots in there, and that's just to accent a few of our areas. And then what I think we need. Where's that January word gone? There it is, and our brown butterflies are now dry. Look at that. You reckon this one here? Maybe that one on top. You reckon our January word should go over here? I do like it there, but I think maybe there. Yep, there. Oh, thank you, Debbie. So we're going to use modelling paste because we do need it to be just a little bit thicker than usual. And where is that palette knife of mine? The backup palette knife. I don't know where my actual one went. The one that I've learnt how to use. Oh dear me. On second thought, my modelling paste, I'm going to be able to do this. It's not blendable enough. Radio. You could use modelling paste that's super moist. We're going to use gesso. Just because my modelling paste, like I said, is degraded. So we want a really thick layer of gesso because we're not using modelling paste. Like, as thick as possible without it leaking to the other side. Too much. Yeah, so it's leaked on you. But we can fix that with a paintbrush, and we're going to come and stick it down. Whoop. Hold it for like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, it's stuck. And then what we're going to come and do is... just going to come in with this brown. This is just to highlight where the word is. So we're going to come in to little gaps here. Brown watercolor. Just because it is the little bits that count. There we go. The brown coming out of the January. And then what we want to do is we're just going to grab some of this white paint or gesso on the edge of a very dry paintbrush. And we're just going to come in. I'm not doing this with my fingers because I've got colour all over my fingers, so it might not go particularly well. I only want it on a few bits and pieces here. Although I do feel like I want to use my fingers right now. Maybe just a bit more white. And then this window here. Making sure not to get white in your, any colour in your white gesso lid. How's that looking? Thank you guys. Oh, good night, Pam. Just about the little bits of dry brushing. If I did with my finger, it might have gone a bit too glumpy. That's the thing. So just doing it with, because a lot of the medium's still wet, we've done a lot of layers. I do run the gauntlet that it's going to mix in when I use my finger. So just by doing it with the tiniest tip of my paintbrush, I'm able to get that. Now there is one little more step I want to do. So I'm just going to dry this really quick. Thank you. Right. So I'm just gonna quickly borrow my mum's pastely pink pen because I don't know where mine is. And we're not going for a dye for it. That could be a very long time for us to dye for it. So we're just going to leave it where it is in my paint pot. I'm going to use mine real quick. So we're just going to come in with the pastel pink pen. Ruin my mom's head in the process. And definitely dead. Right. Right, and we're done. So I'll lift that up to show you. Back. Let me lift this one up. So here is our page for tonight. So we've got our rice paper on the back, the new day to remember, with some black tissue paper, our fussy cut rice paper door frames, the new white linen mini butterflies. Well, I call them baby butterflies because they're mini. And we use those as a stencil in the background and as a piece of collage as well, with our Art by Marling paints and Montmartre gesso and glitter paint, along with our mini chip January wood, which is quite nice. So I know it's a bit of like a product filled page maybe for us. Oh, and the Pandora tissue paper that I got, but like it's quite nice. And we've set the jungle road just far enough away from the spine that it doesn't create any spine damage, as you can see. I'm just going to open that back up again because it is really wet. But yes, that is our page for week 2 of 2023. Thank you all for coming. Don't forget that tomorrow night we are back for Mum's Mixed Media. Mum's not doing Mixed Media. Mum's doing Friday Night Live on the main Scrapbook Fantasy page and her YouTube channel with Getaway. I believe we're using a new product for that as well. We've been busy, very busy designing. And with that, and then I believe Saturday we're doing a weekly roundup. So yes. So thank you all for coming and have a great night. And we shall see you all tomorrow. Bye.